Hello and welcome to another TV Central podcast. I'm Aaron Ryan, and it's nice to be with you during this summer months. One of the big water cooler shows of the 2011 ratings season was The X Factor, and what a ride it was. Battling it out in the top three were Reece, Johnny, and Andrew. Taking nothing away from the brilliant talent of Johnny and Andrew was Reece's raw ability to take a song and turn it into an art piece that captured the nation and crowned him the 2011 winner. Reece joins me now at TV Central, and whilst I will ask him about his album and his hit single and his time on The X Factor, I also want to know about his thoughts on confidence, his drive, the pressure of The X Factor, and his belief within himself as he moves forward with his career. Reece Mastin, thanks for joining me here at TV Central.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, look, it's great to have you on, mate. Great to meet you briefly on Sunday in Perth. I thought I would wait a few weeks until things had settled down a bit, but they haven't really slowed down, have they? What have you been up to since The X Factor finished?
We did heaps. We did the album, did the single, obviously, and they've sold really well. I think both of them have gone platinum now. And ever since then, we've been doing a lot of promotional stuff, and we're doing a promo tour at the moment. I'm actually on the way to an in-store at the moment now as well.
Excellent. Um, Look, you know what I thought it was pretty cool. A quick story. I mean, I run a television website and been in the industry for 10 years. My housemate now, she has got not one bit of excitement over what I do. She doesn't really watch television. She's not into the X Factor. Wouldn't have a clue who you are. Look, I told her after you'd won that Reece had won the X Factor, and she still had no idea who you are. But about 4 days later, I hear her singing outside. She's singing, the lyrics from your song "Shut Your Mouth and Let the Music Speak Out Loud." I said to her, that's the X Factor winner, Reece, and she's like, "Oh, really awesome." My point is that your music is clearly now resonating beyond the fans of just the X Factor. That's great, isn't it? Another really big step for you.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this show's helped me so much, and it's helped me break into the music scene. But it's not something that I want to ride on for the rest of my life. I'd rather get out of the name of the X Factor winner as quick as I could, and just move into my own name. I am Reece Mastin. I'm not just the kid that won X Factor.
Mm. Well, on a conference call this morning with someone in the media, they said they saw you live at the Fremantle Media launch, and you were really good live. Again, another example of having a much broader audience than just who watched the X Factor. Is Sony targeting you to a particular audience, or have you had feedback that your music is reaching sort of far and wide now?
I think the cool thing is when I've been doing these installs, we've been getting people coming up from like 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds, all the way up to like 50, 60-year-olds. So it's been cool. Like it's branching out to so many different people, and I think it's cool because rock and roll is a really old art form, but then again, it's still modern. So it's
Yeah.
kind of branching out everywhere.
Well, when you won the X Factor on the Tuesday night, and on Wednesday you sold your first single, "Good Night," I think it was 2.7 seconds for the entire day. That's insane, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, well, I'd never been in the business, so I didn't know stats or anything, but apparently that's pretty good.
That's awesome. The video you did for the song is out, and that must have been fun to make. What was the shoot like?
It was awesome. What they did pretty much was follow me in the band round for a bit and just filmed what we were doing, and then we played the song a few times. So it was pretty much we just hung out with the crew and the band, and they just filmed us.
Yeah, yeah, great track. The X Factor unearthed some amazing talent. It'd be hard to forget, the likes of Declan, Andrew, Johnny, Christina. But ultimately, Australia decided that Reece Mastin had the X Factor. Now, look, I can probably line up the judges and thousands of people to justify that decision and to tell you why you have the X Factor. But I'm interested to know why you believe you have the X Factor and what you think people see in you.
Um, I think it's that I'm not I'm not typical. You know what I mean? I'm not a Jason Derulo or a Justin Bieber or one of these pop acts. It's something new. It's something that's not really on the radio at the moment.
Yeah.
And yeah, like rock and roll has been going down recently, and I think there are a lot of people that would like to keep it alive.
Mm. Your media release describes you in part as a confident performer. There's no doubt that when you're in your element on stage and you're belting out a rock song and or singing with Kylie Minogue, that you appear confident. But that's of course a stage Reece. Is the off-stage Reece just as confident in his abilities and in himself?
I wasn't. I used to be really shy, and I mean, Johnny Ruff, I tell you, when we were in the boot camp stage at the very start, I hardly said a word to anybody. But I think like going through all this stuff and knowing that I can do and I am doing what I really want to do has helped me so much, and it's made me so much more confident.
Well, I asked you that because you mentioned that you never thought you'd get that far and make it to the finals when you originally were in the X Factor. Did you back yourself at any stage and say, I reckon I can do this?
Yeah, and I believed I could do it. I think I tried to focus on the 1 week that I was doing rather than a couple of weeks ahead. You know what I mean? I was trying to get through 1 week at a time.
Yeah.
And when it came to the final, it kind of took me by surprise. It was already there.
Well, this is just an observation from what I saw. It seems that you set the bar very high for yourself. You put a lot of pressure on yourself and to make sure every performance is perfect. When you sort of get negative criticism, you take it on board, but you can see you're disappointed, not with what they're saying per se, but with yourself. Perhaps you've let yourself down, or from those high expectations. Is that a fair statement, or a bit off track?
Um, I think, yeah, obviously you'd be disappointed in yourself if something did happen, but nobody's superhuman. There's not one person in the world that's going to hit every note perfectly every day. So I think you got to take it like that. And obviously on the shows like that, that's what they want. They want perfection, but it's just not going to happen.
Your album that's out. Tell us for the three people or something that haven't actually bought it now. Tell us what's on it.
I think it's all the tracks off the show. Well, not all, most of the tracks off the show. Some of my favourites. And yeah, we've just done the full versions of them. So there's Staying Alive, Guns N' Roses, Aerosmith, Dream On, stuff like that. So there's all the really, really fun tracks off the show.
The Gunners' Paradise City is one of my favourite songs of all time. How awesome is it to do something like that? I mean, a Guns N' Roses track.
Yeah, well, I think when it first started playing on the show, I think everybody realised it was one of those songs that you know really well but never really listen to anymore. So I think that's why I'm doing all these installs now and doing all these shows, and you get like I'm having 12-year-olds sing it, and I'm like, there is no way you would have known this song. So it's awesome to keep getting the old songs coming back.
Absolutely. Hey, of course you don't want to be a one-hit wonder. So what are your plans for the future now?
I've got another single lined up, so we're after the tour going to go in and lay that down properly. I've got a lot of originals, almost like half an album, and then I'll go in and do some co-writing in the next album, which should be out probably mid-year next year.
Well, you do the tour now, and you sell zillions of albums and singles, and things will settle down for a moment. You start thinking about that second album that you just mentioned. You've got like half an album out now. In a perfect world, what would a Reece album of the future look like? Because I imagine it's going to be a lot different to. It's not going to have X Factor tracks on it. What kind of music can people expect from you in the future?
I think it's obviously it's not going to be the really, really old 80s rock, but it's going to have that element, but with a new kind of style, you know what I mean? So we're still keeping it rock and roll, but we're just bringing it to the 21st century.
Cool. A couple of questions. Got emailed to me. Someone asked what you like doing in your spare time.
I don't really get spare time at the moment, but I used to play a lot of football.
Yeah.
I used to play a lot of football with a football team down in Adelaide. I hung out with my mates a lot, and I jammed a lot with a lot of bands and a lot of different musicians.
Yep. What's a favourite possession you have? Something that's quite close to you.
So I think my guitars, I love them. I don't think I could live without a guitar.
Uh-huh. And last question I get emailed all the time. I'm sure you've been asked. People ask, what's your official marital status? Are you seeing anyone at the moment?
No, I'm single, and going to be that way for a while, I think.
All right. Back to the X Factor. It's easy being on the other side. I mean, I had you to win from the beginning, so it wasn't any surprise when you won. However, when you and Andrew were standing there and Luke was seconds away from announcing the winner, he said something to this effect: "To let you know how close it is, less than 1% separated Andrew and Reece." At home, I'm pretty sure I went white at that time. At 1%, it could have gone either way. When he said that 1%, what went through your head?
Um, I think I was ready for whatever he was going to say. So I just looked at Andrew and I said good luck, and he said good luck back, and obviously he was happy for me, and I'm sure he'll go far anyway.
Yeah. He will, absolutely. Hey, second last question. You went into the X Factor never thinking you'd be in the position you're in right now, but you're here and you're looking ahead. I know it would be a dream to have a massive career doing what you love. My question is, have you finally accepted that you have the talent and ability to make a career out of this? Do you have enough confidence in yourself to back yourself and not just dream, but actually believe all of this is going to happen?
Yeah, for sure. Now I think I'm in it, and it's something I'm not going to let go of. So I'm just going to push as hard as I can.
Yeah, I think you'll do well. Finally, 2011 will be remembered for so many different reasons. You must have been given tons of different advice from so many people. Is there anything that's actually stuck with you? What is some advice someone gave you that you know carry with you forward now?
I think the best piece of advice I got was stay true to the people that put you here. So the fans are the ones that voted to make me win. The fans are the ones that are buying the albums and making it number one. So just staying true to them and keeping them happy will go a long way.
Cool, great advice. Yep. Reece Mastin, it's been a pleasure. Your humility, your talent, and your personality are a great mix, and I wish you every success in the future.
Thank you. Cheers, buddy.
Hey, Reece has an upcoming tour including the Palms at Crown in Melbourne and also Burswood Theatre in Perth. Jump onto Ticketek for more details. Also, his album titled Reece Mastin is out now, just been released via Sony. To follow what Reece is up to, log on to reecemastinofficial.com. That's all for this podcast. Been great having Reece on. Until the next one, I'm Aaron Ryan for tvcentral.com.au. See you then.